Look at all these different solar panels. How am I going to know which one is best for my application? If only there was some sort of big comparison chart where I could see prices, the number of watts, the size of the panels, how much they weigh. Well, I guess I'm just going to have to go through a few of these and look up the specs for myself and make the chart. 100 watts, weight 16.5 pounds, dimensions 39.6 by 26.6 inches, $81.99. This is monocrystalline, $86.99. 45.5 by 20 inches, 15 pounds for the same 100 watts. We will compare Rich Solar polycrystalline panels, Rich Solar monocrystalline panels, the Renogy 100 watt panels, the Renogy 160 watt panels, the Dokio 150 watt, the Mighty Max polycrystalline panels, HQST monocrystalline panels, New Power polycrystalline panels, and the New Power monocrystalline panels. We'll compare the different panels according to price, the number of watts they produce, the dollars per watt. We're also going to look at the weight of the panels as well as the pounds per watt. We'll look at the size of the panels, and then we'll do some calculations to see how many panels will fit in the space we have available for panels. Once we've done that, we can calculate the size of the array that we can make with each kind of panel, and the number of watts the array will make, the number of pounds the array will weigh, and last but not least, how much each of the arrays will cost. Is 13 feet by 10 feet. And since panels are usually described in inches in their description, this is 156 inches. And this is 120. You can't just say I've got 150 times 120 and say I've got 18,000 square inches. And then run out and buy panels that add up to 18,000 square inches. What panels you can fit in here are going to be a bit smaller than that. There will be space that isn't covered with panels. And that's going to take away from that 18,000. And so you have to deal with the size of the panels that are there. And the panels can't all just be bunched right up against each other like this either, for a couple of reasons. For one thing, where the panels mount, you have these Z brackets. And so a panel would mount on here and go this way. And then another panel would mount on this one and be over here. And you need space in between to be able to screw these down to something. So you're going to have a minimum of about 3 inches in between here. Even if we put these on top of each other and had one screw holding both of them, which is not a bad way actually, you still have at least 1.5 inches. Right, and then another 1.5 inches between these panels and these. Or you could put the clips on the ends, right, and jam the panels together this way. But then you still need that 3 inches here, 1.5 inches there and there, so another 3 inches. So the real question becomes, how many panels will fit in my array area? And that depends a lot on which panel. The rich solar polycrystalline panels, you can fit 2 rows of 5 panels. So 10 panels. The rich solar monocrystalline, the Renogy 100 watt panels, you can actually fit 7 this way in 2 rows. So 14 panels. The Mighty Max, the HQST, and the new Power polycrystalline panels, you can actually get 3 rows of panels this way. Anything 40 inches or less lets you get 3 panels wide. And so with 5 panels this way, I can get 15 panels. I missed this, the new Power monocrystalline panel. There is room for 7 this way and 2 this way, so 14 panels. So that really should have been grouped with Rich Solar Mono, Renogy 100 watt, and the new Power Mono. Should be in the same size category because in all 3 cases I can fit 14 panels. The Dokio 150 watt panels are interesting. The panels are 39 by 39 inches, a square. And, you know, without doing the math, I had just figured, oh, I'm not going to fit that many of them on there, maybe 6. But when I look at this 10 foot by 13 foot rectangle, (156 inches by 120 inches. These 39 by 39 panels, I can get 4 panels this way and 3 this way with almost no room at all. I mean, they are jammed in there There's probably room to mount them because there's a little bit more space here. But they are really jammed in there, and I mean, one downside is there isn't a lot of room for airflow underneath them. Although I could just not have a roof underneath this rack, and then I've got airflow. It's interesting. With these 12 panels, they're 150 watt panels. So I can get 1800 watts out of this array. Then there's the Renogy 160 watt panels. Those panels are 52 by 26 inches. So I can get exactly 6 of them this way with the panels jammed right up against each other. And so I have to put these Z brackets to mount the panels on the ends. This is the short dimension, and this is the long dimension. And there literally is no room for the Z brackets along the long dimension of the panels. So they just screw into the ends like that, which is not as well held down. There's a lot more of a span here than, say, with these, where I'm going to be putting my mounting brackets on the long side, right? I think that holds the panel down better, and there's less of a span between where the Z brackets go. But these arrays with the bigger panels are interesting. 1800 watts, 1920 watts. I'm learning things just going through the process of making these charts. So this is the first chart. And I had made the mistake of taking the sizes here and just assuming that, you know, you want a couple extra inches around each side of the panel for your Z brackets and stuff. These things, remember, where the panels are attached to this and then this is screwed down to something. So you've got this space like this much, or possibly like that much. And I kind of made room all the, added a couple inches all the way around, and sort of generally asked how many would fit in my 10 by 13 area that I can put the solar panels. And that was a mistake. You really have to go through and do the math exact, and then see how much space is left over. Because some of these have changed. Here, like this one. The HQST panels. I was lumping them with Mighty Max and New Power Poly in a group where you can get 3 wide and 5 this way. And when I went back and looked at the exact dimensions, the HQST panels, 35.6 by 25.9. I can get 6 of them this way. I mean, they are really jammed up one on top of each other this way. So I can't put the Z brackets like here and here, the way I normally would. They're going to have to go on the ends of the panels like this. So there's a longer span because the panels are a lot longer this way. But they'll be on there sturdy enough, and there will be room in between. Here. So basically, this way where there's 6 panels going that way, there is 0 extra. But going this way, 3 of them at 35 inches wide is 105. So there's 15 extra inches here. You know, in order to have room for brackets here, 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 and here. That'll work. So the HQST gets an upgrade due to exact math from 15 to 18 panels that I can put in the array. There were a couple other minor math mistakes that I have corrected as well. Right, there's 2 that are 1800 watts and 1 that's 1920. The Renogy 160 watt panels could make a 1920 watt array, but it would cost $2,280. The Dokio makes an 1800 watt array, but it costs $1,644. And the HQST also makes an 1800 watt array, and it costs $1,602. Just check one more thing among these 3 arrays that have the most power is the weight. How much does the array weigh? The HQST with the 18 panels, 18 100 watt panels, weighs 257.4 pounds. The Dokio square panels, the 150 watt panels, 39 by 39 inches, the 1800 watt array, that one weighs 270 pounds. And just for fun, the expensive one, the Renogy 160 watt panels. The 1920 watt array that costs $2,200, that weighs 264 pounds. I just like the way these work out for having the Z brackets fit on just frame supports and nothing underneath. I like that design. So the HQSD array, the lightest one, where we get 6 panels this way, not 5. That is basically with no space in between. And going this way, you have 15-inch extra. So 3 inches there, 3 there's another 6, and 5 inches to spare. This could even come in 5 inches, be 5 inches narrower. We make the frame 5 inches narrower there. Then the ends of these panels can all just screw into the frame. And we'd have 3 inches here. Where these could screw in. And here. So this is our frame. And there's no rule that says that you can't have like something go across. Welded to the frame. Just frame braces without connections to the panels here. Putting 3 inches there is having these this way. And I guess if it's square tubing frame that's like 3 inches wide, that would be okay. To screw into frame, this putting these this way would make more sense. And that's 1.5 inches really here of spacing between the 2 panels, 1.5 inches. Right, so that's another 3. So that would move the sides in by 8. That's a possibility. That's the lightest and cheapest of the big arrays.